Welcome to our tutorial on setting up and configuring a name server on Red Hat-based Linux distributions. Today, we'll walk you through the process step by step, including setting up a zone named hack.lab along with its corresponding reverse zone. In this tutorial, we are using Alma Linux 8. As you can see, I have two servers prepared for this installation. This server is going to be the name server. This server we have as client to test the DNS service after its configuration. Now, let's start by installing the necessary packages. Open your terminal and type sudo dnf install bind utils. Once the installation is complete, let's move on to configuring the file named .conf. Open named.conf in your preferred text editor. Since we are using vim sudo vim/etc/named.conf, before we define the needed zones, we are configuring the listen addresses and the hosts that can query DNS requests. Since this test server has the IP address 192.168.11.233, we are adding this as address where the service listens. Then we add the network address of our test network, so that all servers in this subnet can use this server as DNS. Now we add the two zones to the configuration. The first one is the forward zone, used to resolve IP addresses from host names. The second one is the reverse lookup zone, used to resolve host names from IP addresses. Save the changes and close Vim by typing :wq. Next, let's create the zone files. We create a new zone file named hacklabzone in the /var/named directory. As I've already prepared the content, I just paste it in there. On the bottom you can see that there is a second A record of a test server with the name archserver 6240. Save the changes and close Vim by typing :wq. Now, let's create the reverse zone file in the same directory as the hacklabzone file. On the bottom you can see now the same hosts as pointers. These pointers work with the network address 192.168.11.0/24 as defined in the named conf file. After creating both zone files, it's time to restart the bind service to apply the changes. As I am using a Cloud Init template without firewalled installed, I don't have to open any ports. If you have any personal firewall installed and enabled, make sure you open the ports for the DNS service. On Red Hat-based systems with firewall, you can simply allow the service DNS with firewall cmd --add service equal DNS. Now we want to test if our configuration was successful. On a second server, I already changed the name server to our newly installed and configured bind server. When I check the host name of the name server with the command host, the IP address is properly resolved. And when I use the IP address with the host command, the host name resolves also. Congratulations! We successfully installed and configured a name server in our test network.